over
So
the years.
what will you now say to people that are living that their rent is very on the high side? Let's say, for example, 2 million and they're earning like 200k, or let's say 150, and the rent is 2 million, but and they stay on the island.
Okay.
But their reason for moving in there is to
To
make
be
more
clear,
contacts.
okay.
Are you saying it's not a financial advice, or are you saying the risk involved is too hefty?
Okay, chill. As you mentioned, 150k and 2 million rent.
Yeah.
I tried to quickly do the math. 150 times 10. 150 times 10 is 1.5.
1.5.
So how are they paying 2
That's
million rent?
that's the risky. Maybe on in they had an advance the first time. Maybe
Yeah.
they had someone that gave
So
them.
after that advance year expires,
Yeah,
then
as I'm saying, they enter the island so that they can make more contacts and see how they
so
can
were they able to
have
make
other.
more?
That's the question. Is that risk? Is it worth it?
Well, it's a risk.
Yeah, someone earning 150. How much rent should the person be looking at?
Say you.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to an amazing episode on the Traffic Vlog. As you know, it's Pretty Boy Chief, and yeah, thank you for everyone who watched our previous episode, Tribalism During Job Hunt. Thank you for those who subscribed. Thank you, and for those who didn't subscribe while watching. Yeah, I mean, so it's 2025. It's on a new leaf. All right. Uh, so we are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, YouTube, anything you can think of where you listen to your podcast. Search for the Traffic Vlog, and Pretty Boy Chief personally for me. Today we'll be talking about something very interesting. Something you know what we always talk about. Something that has to do with your life. Yeah, and today we are shifting a bit from the job drama to when you actually find that job and you want to move out of the house, right?
Yeah.
And starts the bachelor life and starts the quote and unquote the adulthood or something. Yeah, you want to move into a new house. We are going to talk about house hunting and the whole drama involved with it. When it comes to agencies, caution fee, this one fee, painting fee, everything. So on this episode, I'm discussing with Captain Jack.
Check.
He has been on this episode. He was on the last episode and he
Yeah.
shared few think pieces on that previous episode. Yeah, 50 applications. Don't forget.
Oh God.
It's very important. No, actually, yeah, I've started my own 50 applications actually,
So
and
you're doing 50 applications per day.
no. You said per week now. You told us per
I
week.
estimate roughly average. Yeah.
Well, I've started my own, yeah, and
Okay.
I think I'm seeing, it's working out. It's working out. I'm still like, just as I told you, yeah. I have an interview that I didn't go for because, like, it's like you also said, Aja is too far. So I'm taking your advice. And I'll see how my 2025 turns out. Hopefully for the best.
All the best.
But now, we want to talk about the part that troubles the youth the most,
Yeah.
and in a very dangerous economy like the Nigerian one,
Very.
where this moment you're planning 100k for rent, for example,
Yeah.
the next 2 months you're gonna start be planning, people they plan 250.
Even more. Even
So
more.
I would ask you, yeah,
Yeah.
is it possible to to be earning, or is it possible right now in Lagos, the condition of Lagos,
Yeah.
to see a rent of 200k
Well,
as if have a comfort living, not an affordable
it
living?
depends. It depends on the area, and it depends on the type of house, building, setting that you're looking for. So for 200k house, you have to be in Ogun State.
Come on, no shades,
Which
come
one is
on,
no shade?
come
It's
on, come
real
on.
life now.
Yeah.
For 200k house, I
Why
say
do you think
house
so?
because I don't know. Lagos landlords, I say this with no remorse. They are moving mad. And you see,
Okay.
they wake up one morning and they're like, increase this house by 2. They give you a kitchen type house and you're like, that house is 350. Bros, if you see what you're getting for that house. And then you go to the house. Now, this is how it starts. Funny thing is, you don't get interaction with the landlord. So it is the agents that keep hiking the house.
Okay.
You will go, you see a building, and then you'll be like, this building is furnished, is this, is tiles, is water, and then how much, Oga? Is it
Leave all those features.
shade features? How much is it? And you'll be like, it's 500K, but you know you are still going to pay this, pay that, and then now you practically told the agent that, okay, I'm looking for 200K house, and you're like,
Yeah.
see that 200K house over the long, okay, I'm looking for 200K house. He go come say, okay, let's go. The 200K house, he will now take you to Face Me, I Face You, one room, literally
Now wetin your money fit afford.
one room, and you're like, so is this
This is
what
all.
you can get for 200K? I say, okay, that's what your money can. So 200K house in Lagos. I don't think so, man.
It's not possible. You can't even
Well,
get a self con. Not a face
self
me, I face
con,
you, boys. At least
maybe a self con that is just
serious con.
that is not self con. Like, it's just once you enter it, you are self. Only self con beneath. I'm telling you, it's mad. Even the ones you get for the high price, I'm
Yeah.
telling you, you can't do full span of your hand in some of those houses. So 200K house in Lagos now, I mean, it depends on the area. You have to go inside deep area. And maybe that type of house, you won't find it through an agent. It's someone that will show
So
you.
you
If
okay,
not, it's the
okay.
agent
So you direct to the landlord.
or the house that see that house,
It's
then
200K.
it's 200K. Then you can find it, but like it's inside.
So from what you're saying, I feel like it's the agents that are the main problem, the main thing.
Yeah.
But is it right? What they do, is it right? Oh, I think there's an actual calculation to how these agents come up with their money.
Yeah.
Because I've seen in multiple posters where the agency fee is like
The
the
agency
agency is
fee
almost the
is
same thing with
almost
the
half
rent.
of what you are paying for the rent. So I remember
Then there's caution.
sometime in
I even heard there's an inspection fee.
there are so many fees they attach to houses lately, yeah. So I remember far back as 2019, that was pre-COVID. You know, when you go to look for house, I mean, you get the house, and then if you are getting a self-con standard now for 100K, I remember at most you pay agent 10K,
Yeah.
you pay lawyer maybe like 15K, and then maybe say they still want to collect all those caution fee, maybe 5K.
Yeah, I
So
remember
at
like
most,
it doesn't used to be that much of
yeah,
a
so
big business.
so at most you pay maybe 130,
Yeah.
and you are done with all that setting. Then this started to, span up post COVID when they started changing the setting of the house. You
Yeah.
see that lately they started every house now has this balcony, dark paint, butterfly roof, and then they tell you that that's what you are paying for.
Suede.
You are paying for
roofing.
aesthetics. Bro, I just want a corner space where I can rest my head. Nobody say you did the house 247. So then all of a sudden, your rent is 200K. You are paying agent 100K, paying commission 50, paying another one 50, and you are paying about 400K to get your house of 200K. So they tried that one, it worked, and then they just continue to. I don't think there is a
Regulation.
body or regulation that follows this thing, because it's the agents themselves. You know, they
Yeah.
have a committee. So once one person does it, the next person does it,
Yeah.
and like that, they start to hike.
But I actually
The
heard
whole
like
thing.
there's an actual calculation. Like I heard that agent take 10%, then maybe lawyer takes a certain percentage. But
There is standard.
yeah. But are they or could it be like those ones that are overpriced? Are because it's not directly the agent that maybe as Nigeria is now.
Yeah.
I don't have this as okay, let me call my brother. So maybe could that be one of the reasons why the agency prices are that high? That the agent you are speaking to is not a direct contact to the house. He's just sourcing out for you.
Well, now I think the agents themselves have created a general agreement that
WhatsApp group.
a WhatsApp group. I say in all of their WhatsApp groups, they've sent BC broadcast message that now like this we dey collect agency fee now.
Yeah.
Whatever the house is, half is our fee, half is commission. And then because you meet this agent, if he doesn't have the house, he's calling the next agent. So if he refers you to that agent, you guys pay him his own money.
His own half. I pay that one his own half.
You guys shall pay him some form of inspection or commission or his time before he
What is
releases
even
you
this
to
inspection? Just like say I go shop now, I want buy maybe Pepsi. You tell me I have to pay to see the
to see the
Pepsi.
Pepsi or see what they have in their shop. That's what the agents do.
It's
Now,
crazy.
the sad is this sad now? Unfortunate. The unfortunate part is if they send you that video on phone,
Yeah.
you be like, Oga, Alpha, which type of houses you get now? Make I know. he will now send you video, now send you half video. You now say, I see this one, this one. And I'm say, this one, I like this one. How much it be? You say, this is the price. You say, send me the if you video the house, give me. You say, I know you guys can't see the house by yourself. I'm like,
you want escaping fee.
and I'm like, Oga, share na your fee. Video the house, send me. I go send you your 2K and say, you will say, the key is not with you.
For real, I say it is kids, but is it actually real? Like the key is not with it. We're going to find the key.
Real life, bro. He will now come up with excuses that it's not in the premises now. That he told another person to send him this video, he sent it. But the day you tell him that, okay, Oga, I'm ready to come and see the house, immediately he's texting your address. So yeah, come to so I'll meet you there. Because the moment you go there to see, so even if you were going to see 5 houses that day, you will pay inspection fee for that day. If you come tomorrow to see another house, you pay inspection fee for that day.
So you have to make up your mind that this house I'm going to inspect has to be it.
For them. Because of course I'm not just gonna waltz in and then I like this house based on what you showed me in the video. I might get there and then it's not exactly what it looks like. But yeah, that's their rationale now. You just get there before and after you do, you said to them.
But with all these, outrageous prices, I don't know if it's even constitutional or well, I think there should actually be a body, overseeing all these things. But with all these things, and being a youth just entering after NYSC, being a youth trying to get into life, what is that? What do you think is that probably saving mechanism or plan that can help you achieve a house or acquire a house? Let's say a house being 500 or 600, and you're earning, initially you say you're earning 150.
Okay.
How do you think someone can save through that process?
So if you're earning 150, I don't know what you're looking for with 500K house. Okay, say 500K.
Everybody wants to be comfortable. Even if you want to go for the affordable, you want to be comfortable.
Say 500K house now is maybe like, of course, was mostly in the area, because I mean, even as close as Abulegba, Ikeja here, that's like the standard for houses in that area. So say you earn 150 and you are planning to get a house in the nearest end of the year, in a few months. Well, your budget will tell on you, because depending on where your house is to your work.
Okay.
If transport has not collected your money, food has collected your money. If food has not collected your money, miscellaneous has. So except you are strongly going to be saving like half of your money every month. Okay, let's just say 70 times 7. You just have enough for the rent by 7 months. So say you are going to save 70 for 10 months. So you have like 700K, and at least you can still use the rent to set up.
Get one or two.
So yeah. So you see now you need like 10 months, or you need that whole year safe to be able to afford the rent. Say you're able to
personally, what's your saving mechanism to keep up or to match up with your rent, or with a
rent or with the rent?
Yeah.
When it's basically
10%. Do you take 20%? Do you give tithes, or I don't know?
Me for rent, okay, depending on what the rent is. The span of 12 years. And so I'm dividing
12 months.
Sorry, 12 months. Thank you. So I'm dividing the rent by the span of 12 months. Since it's going to be an annual thing. Then I make deposits for that span. So say the rent is that's 500K. That is, by the end of 12 months, I should have had at least 50K each month, so that by the end of the year, at least I have 600K. So even when I pay the rent, So if you are running on a timeline like that, you span it across the whole year.
So like it's easier to say save. But within that saving months, you have other bills.
Of course.
You have other personal bills.
Always.
You have let's say, for example, data bill, like
always.
Data bill is one crazy thing now.
Always.
You have your own personal, self-care bills. So the saving is not actually that easy.
It's not.
So how in reality, how are you going to like just frown your face and do it, or I going to tell me the save? I don't know.
Okay, do you want to sleep on that bridge?
But
If you have
other things need
plans,
to be met. Like you need
yeah,
to
of
meet up
course.
with
Now
other things.
you
Now
have to
you need to
meet with
flex. Come on.
other things. You reflect, and that's why I said it depends on your budget. As
Yeah.
long as your budget can carry it, your budget
Mm.
can handle it, then you must
Mm.
decide that this allocation must go to this deposit every month. If not, it will be affected. So the moment you don't have that allocation per month, and then by the end of the year, it's now time to pay for the rent, you can't dey explain, give landlord. You and landlord go just dey laugh you say you don't get another person
Yeah,
wey go
yeah.
take your
And
house.
funny enough, they always have another
They
person.
always have. So it's just a matter of if you want to
Mm.
continue living in
Yeah,
this
or not.
space. So to continue living at your space, then you definitely have to make that allocation.
Yeah.
That rent money is rent money. Any other money can now be
Yeah.
for flex, for data, can all of that bills. But that allocation
Uh,
gats just
just meet up
remain.
with them.
I swear.
Well, like I was thinking, like, or I'm thinking with everything you are saying right now, you are saying that Nigerians basically are not just living; we are just trying to meet up with
We are barely hanging. So
on a very thin rope.
we are barely hanging to hold all of our threads together so that it doesn't cut. If not,
Yeah.
so you just got to maintain that allocation.
When looking for for a house,
Mm.
whatever the deal is, yeah, what do you actually look out for? Like what are those pinpoints that that has to be in your house? Some people say um church. The house
Yeah,
doesn't
okay.
just must not be behind the church or beside the church.
Yeah.
Or some say space,
Yeah.
some say security, some say atmosphere.
Okay.
So for you, when job hunting, what do you look out for in the environment and everything?
So in my case, when job hunting, the first thing I look for is it close to where I'm working?
Okay.
One, the location.
Okay.
So is it somewhere I can just wake up and then maybe one bus, 20 minutes, 30 minutes at most,
Mm.
I'm at at work. So that's one consideration.
Okay.
Then the second consideration is space. Now the type of space, is it where by the time I'm inside, it's just me, the bed, and the side table,
Mm.
or the space after me and the space go just dey solo. So you consider space. Then the
Okay.
next factors are light and water. Two very important factors. If you're in an area where there's no light, you can't get water.
Yeah,
And if you're in
exactly.
an area where you
You
can't
can
get
get gen
water,
though.
okay, say you even have gen,
Yeah.
say you have gen. If you're in an area where you can't get water,
Yeah.
you cannot do anything. So I consider light and water.
Are those your basic two things? You have to pick
After
two major things or other like two very important things,
mm,
and maybe you can manage with the others. What would be what would
I
those
can't
two?
manage without light and water. Or if light and water is not in that
So
premises,
those are the two major things.
that's like starter. If
Yeah.
light and water is not in that area, man, it's difficult because there's this thing about light. No, really,
This
there's this thing about
satisfaction,
light that
this peace of mind.
yeah, it just there's light. Though. You're not using to do anything, but when you want to charge, you go charge.
Yeah.
When you go come back, but you just they no light. It they kill joy like literally. Then water also. Now you're worrying. You come back. You don't dey think I just go my land place go fetch water or how you are going to fill up your
Very
containers and your tank.
traumatizing.
Exactly. But then if the water is in your space, you bath in the morning, you bath for
Yeah,
night, you finish, you pump. So
exactly.
there's peace of mind. But the moment those two, it's extra work and extra
So
headache.
for you, you are saying light and water are the two
Light
main
and
things.
water standard.
So you're not concerned if maybe there's a school
Eh,
there or maybe behind your house is a
that's for
every
starters.
night video church or
Then that's for
something.
starters. Then the next is it must be away from the road.
Okay. People
Yes, so
actually like things like for people that do 9 to 5. I've heard people say they like it when it's close to you so that they can just
for sure.
from house jump to the
Uh,
or to the bus
by
and
close
get
to the
moving.
road is not is inside the close.
Okay.
So the road is here, then the close.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you
Okay.
just
Okay.
walk out and then you're on the road. But if you're by the road, me I like it inside the
That's
close.
okay.
Then inside the close now, you got day where you know you can get at least manageable quiet. I say manageable because here you can't always get
Yeah,
quiet.
yeah,
It's either the neighbor has his own form of noise,
Yeah.
or the area as a whole has his own form of noise. There's barber shop, there is mechanic, there is everybody
It's
shall
also
have
one guy playing loud music just
yeah.
because
So you have to
he's
find
in that mood.
manageable
Yeah.
quiet. So there's that. And then what other factor would I consider? Oh, I think the what's it now? The time shift of that area. You know, some areas by 10 you see that all the shops have closed.
Okay.
Everybody's
Yeah.
out by that time, and then some
I think
areas
like it's basic things. It's normal.
eh?
I mean, I think it's normal based on fear of insecurity and things like that.
Well, if you stay at Agege, Bega, Oshodi, where again? Areas like this, they don't sleep till like 12.
For
Have you
real.
11? They are still
Everywhere
active.
bubbling.
I'm telling you, 12, they are still active. Now, the thing about that type of area is they have shifts. The
Okay.
people that will stay from 9 to 12 will start coming by that 9.
Okay.
So that is the time they come. They're
Okay.
active from 9 to 12. After that 12, they're out. So that type of area, you know that all more life goes still
But
the
like
till
in areas like that,
yeah.
those are places that there are high chances of or let me not say those are. There are places that there could be high chances of insecurity
Yeah.
for people that stay long hours.
Yeah.
So I think even when looking for a house, you want a place that and that place will also be noisy.
Yes,
You want a place that
that's why I
has
said
manageable.
manageable quiet. You guys go inside, and then the area is at least it's just houses, and then it's
Yeah.
there. So
But
that's
when you come
manageable
out, you can
quiet.
have the
Yeah, when you come out from your clothes, it's the
okay.
road, the lifestyle, everything. No
Yeah.
one's. That's all right.
So basically, for you, it's light, water, then everything can
Light,
come
water,
after.
then those other ones can. Yeah.
Even when you were speaking, I remembered something. I remembered a popular saying that if you're going to look for a house in Lagos, the rents or whatever
Yeah.
shouldn't be more than your 3 to 4 months salary. How do you see that? Is
Yeah.
that actually a
It's
around story?
I agree because I agree that if say worst comes to worst, emergency, and then you just want to remove your rent and you can't remove it in 2 3 4 months
Yeah.
money, then that's then it's a lot of work at the same time. That what comes to worst, say this month I no go do anything because this landlord and several things that come up over the
So what
years.
will you now say to people that are living that their rent is very on the high side? Let's say, for example, 2 million and they're earning like 200K, or let's say 150, and the
Yeah.
rent is 2 million, but and they stay on the island.
Okay.
But their reason for moving in there is so
To
make
be
more
clear.
contacts.
Okay.
Are you saying it's not a financial advice, or are you saying the risk involved is too hefty?
Okay. Chill. As you mentioned 150K and 2 million rent,
Yeah.
I tried to quickly do the math. 150 times 10. 150 times 10 is 1.5.
1.5.
So how are they paying 2
That's
million rent?
that's the risky. I mean, maybe in they had an advance the first time. Maybe
Yeah.
they had someone that gave
So
them.
after that advance year expires,
Yeah,
then
as I'm saying, they enter the island so that they can make more contact and see how they
so
can
were they able to
have
make
other.
more?
That's the question. Is that risk? Is it worth it?
Well, it's a risk. It's a high risk
Because the
because
societal preference of living on the island over the mainland, and people would
almost
do anything just to have that, and it comes with a lot of manageable quiet, as you say.
almost forget
So
manageable quiet in that one. That's high risk because I mean at the time you said it was 150, yeah, and then you took your what do you call it, the advance,
yeah,
and immediately you're running to island. That's a lot of high risk because
a lot of pressure
almost
because you have
except
to
it
make
was
friends.
guaranteed that the moment you get there
Yeah,
from that month your income was gonna double or something. But having to now take all your advance to the island because you want to increase your engagement and network.
it's a risk that could actually pay off. At least there are let's say 60-40 chances that you actually meet people if you socialize enough, and if maybe you're an entrepreneur, for example. Also on the side you have an entrepreneurial
Okay.
job and you also,
Mm.
but then you are taking that risk so that you can meet more people that can patronize you.
Well, that's why I said
Is it a risk you would like you would take?
no. I won't take that type of risk because, I mean, if I can stay maybe some 1 hour difference from the distance and
Yeah.
still manage to manage my costs, then I think it's advantageous for me than taking the whole advance, and then by the end of the year, there's no guarantee that, of course, there's no guarantee to anything. But I mean, by my calculation, the end of the year does not surmount to keep me for the next year in this
Yeah.
place. So except my risk is so strong that by the time I get there, the first month is going to probably double my income or
Okay.
increase my flow of income.
Mm.
Yeah, then, but I won't still take the risk.
So for people that have taken that risk, yeah, what do you think about them?
Ah,
Do you think they are very strong willed?
I think they are very strong-willed. I think they are very
Or they're just dumb?
strong-willed. Well, I think they are very strong-willed, and
Could be dumb. Might be dumb.
if it works for them, that's all well and
Okay,
good.
if it doesn't,
And if it didn't, so it's a risk, like we said, it's a high risk. He was, he took the bull by the horn
yeah.
and said, okay, let's ride this bull. And maybe he jumped out of the bull and kept the bull to the end. But for me, no,
Mm.
I
But I think I know a person, a long time person that actually works for a but his own. He was looking for a girl and he actually met the girl and they got married
okay.
and they are now living abroad. But then that was the risk. He went into the island, did his thing, socialized enough, and
That's an
boom.
example that worked. If you think
You
you
know, me
can
say you don't go
handle
work out.
even if you think you can handle it, of course,
Yeah, yeah.
all well and good. All well and good. But then, if you have such, advance,
Hmm.
it's always best to have a fallback amount. Like, okay, I've run all
Yeah.
this on expense, so come rain or shine, I can always fall back to this amount, to cover one or twos.
Yeah.
But then if you take all of it to now go and expend on the expense, then it's too much of a risk.
You were saying something about that quote of your 3 or 4 months I should
Yeah.
meet up. Do you agree with it? Is it are you
Well, like you said, there are percentages it will work for, and there are percentages it will not work for. If you're in the percentage that it works for, here it is. I agree with
but do you
it.
think it's an ideal calculation that okay everybody should live by and they'll be fine?
If you really want to, be fair to your
Mm.
income, yes. If you really want to be fair to your income, yes.
It should be fake.
Ah, if
Want to
you
be
if you really want to be fair to your income, yes,
okay.
because like you told me now,
Mm.
you had a 2 million advance, and then
Yeah.
your income is going to be 150, and I calculated 150 times 10, and it was just 1.5, and the next 1.5 is like 1.8. So how that is you're practically wait that is if you don't spend your 150.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So now imagine having to do all that calculation to be ready for the next year. You're not being fair to your income. But if you are being fair to your income, say you earn
Okay, someone earning 150, how much rent should the person be looking at?
say you earn 150, and then you want to go by
Uh,
this rule. So in 4 months, we are expecting that, let's say, how do we calculate it now? Let's say your rent should be, how much can you keep? Like I said, 70 times 48. So let's say your rent is 200. So in
That's
four
a
months,
serious self con.
yes. So let's say your rent is
Okay,
200.
okay.
So we are saying in 4 months, yeah, you can cover your rent. I think a stretch can be given that in 6 months you can cover your rent.
6 months.
Mm.
I think me personally, I'll buy with the 3 to 4 months.
Yeah,
Basically.
so 3 to 4 months at a stretch, 6 months. But if you have to now, the years ended and you don't still have the money for your rent, come on. Under bridge is calling you, I swear. Under
So
bridge is
I'll
calling
just
you.
ask one last question and I'll let you go.
Okay.
For landlords that just maybe change the paint of the building
Yeah.
and not double the price of the rent,
Yeah.
one word for them, like one piece of heavenly advice.
Okay, so let me walk you through a practical or a day in the life of looking for house.
Yeah.
So you enter the streets, you buzz up an agent, Alpha Boss. I'm looking for self con, or if my money card maybe mini flat. And be like, no ones, I have one. Let's go. You go there, they show you. You say, this landlord just made this house. It's furnished, it's POP. He just fixed the roof, so you have no worry for rainfall and all that. And then you say, okay, maybe you look at the house is fine. They'll now tell you, okay, well, the thing now is the landlord said he wants 1.5 year or 2 years in advance. You say, okay, no problem. 1.5 year or 2 years, you pay. So after you pay that, you now you still pay agent fee, commission, caution, maintenance, all of that. Bam. So now after your 1.5 year now comes, the landlord will now come to you that we are cementing the compound and we are going to add one water tank and we are painting the gates. And then let's say your rent was 500k. Let's say the rent now will be 900k or maybe 800k. And you now be like, okay, what again this year you're doing? You're adding tank and cementing the floor, and really those landlords don't have I don't know whether it's like they have personal problems and then they now extend it to you to fix up their personal problems. Because why do you just wake up after a year or two and all of a sudden you're increasing the rent of your house?
And I feel like it's important. You have to add something new so that
bro, it's the same. Like inside your house is the same. The building is the same. Your stuffs, everything is the same. That building did not increase in space. It didn't get
they made it finer. Which outside, it
didn't get any finer. You just changed color of paint, and then you practically just changed color of paint for wall, for gates, for the floor. So
like people they say I'm like it's saying.
So what exactly did you increase? Because if you take that 300k and practically get maybe another self-con, so are you adding a room to this room? And they say cost of management. Who is managing the house? House that is already expensive. Bust your head. All areas from, let me see, okay, areas from even Abulegba now. Abulegba, Yanapaja, upwards. They are doing this thing where houses that they make now is as if it's design. They're practically just doing design for you. So that when you come and they tell you this house is 500k, you cannot say no, or you cannot say you don't want. So now there's just a general hike in rent that you literally just look at the house. And then you see a house and you be like, these people didn't really have intentions for people to live here, right? Because this is the fence. Okay, this is the fence of the house. And then this is the house. So even if you wanted to make use of your compound to be hanging clothes, that space there is useless. You just whip up structures. Now what they do is they use story buildings now to cover up that space. Now they do like 2-story buildings and then just mash all the buildings together, and then you find 2 rooms, 3 rooms in this structure, and you check the rooms, all of them are just kitchen size. But then because it says 3 rooms, something you would have just made
better design now.
Which better design? Balcony and POP and paint. Lagos agents, landlords, the people in charge of.
So are you advocating that everyone should go to Ogun State and look for a house?
No, now what's happening in Ogun State?
for cheap housing and
Well, if you have something you are doing in Ogun State, of course. But in Lagos, they don't have good plans for their housing because why are you paying a house? Why are you paying house of? You should go outside and see. Really, you should go outside and see how much they are calling rent. 1.5.
I think it's just a Nigerian thing for us to just adapt to whatever situation.
1.5.
See, I'm telling you, like even if they keep increasing, we would still adapt and we'll see like Nigeria it doesn't get better.
Okay, this is our area now. This is our area now.
Well,
I think it's local. enormous that people will buy it. But I'm saying this is our area now.
Yeah,
We suppose even see some kind houses for some kind price. We know Fisiam. So what are we saying? It's just crazy in Lagos finding house, man. So
Well, we'll survive. We'll survive. Well,
that's
as you
it.
have listened, we've shared few points on how to, house hunt. Yeah,
Yeah.
lights, water, very important. Very, very, very. If you don't want to stress yourself,
I'm
very,
very
very, very, very
important, very
important.
keen.
Philly Boy Chief is Captain Jack on all
Captain Jack.
socials. Until next time, I love you, but God loves you more.